Hi, and welcome to part 5 of the Necessitas course in data modeling with class models. This part of the course looks at data definitions. However, you're advised to view parts 1, 2, 3, and 4 before starting part 5. But first, let's remind ourselves of what the course is about. The course is part of our Business Analysis Enablement Program, delivering training in core business analysis skills. It shows you how to produce class models to specify information requirements of an organization using a graphical format. It is aimed principally at business analysts and requirements engineers. It will also be of interest to data analysts, developers, testers, project managers, and anybody with an interest in the development of requirements for business systems. Let's remind ourselves of the overall objectives of the course. The course will use meaningful and practical examples to explain and demonstrate the notation used when producing class models and show you how to develop them for yourself. Having completed the course, you'll be able to produce class models or read the models produced by others. So what does the course cover? The course is made up of 5 parts, with each part covering a key aspect of class modeling. As we've progressed through the course, we've been developing an example class model to illustrate the points covered. In part 1, we provided an overview of what class models are, what they look like, and why we use them, and we introduced the key components of a class. In part 1, we made a start on our example class model, creating a model with a few example classes. In part 2, we looked at associations and business rules. In part 3, we considered the importance of keys and developed our example model further with primary keys, foreign keys, and derived attributes. In part 4 of the course, we completed our example class model by adding generalization, aggregation, and composition. And we also considered how to capture historical data. In this part 5, the final part of the course, we'll turn our attention to data definitions. These are used to provide more detailed information or metadata on the classes, business rules, and attributes represented in the model. But before starting part 5, let's remind ourselves of where we finished part 4. This is how our class model looked at the end of part 4. In part 4, we added generalization, aggregation, and composition to our example class model, and we also added a class to capture historical data. Although the class model is complete, we've not yet finished with modeling. This is because we do not have sufficient information that would allow developers to develop and testers to test a system based on the model. To do this, we need to supply more detailed information in the form of data definitions, which are the subject of this, our final part of the course. Data definitions are used to provide more detailed information on the classes, business rules, and attributes that are represented in the model. Using a form is a good way to capture this information. Please note that no universally accepted form exists, so you may come across many different, although similar versions. We'll present typical forms for you to consider and tailor to suit your own projects. Let's start by looking at class definitions. Here's a typical form for defining a class. You'd complete one of these forms for each class in the model. The headings are pretty much self-explanatory, but let's just take a closer look to be sure. Here you can see we've added some information as a guide to what should be included in each entry. A couple of points to bear in mind are, firstly, a lot of the information relates to non-functional requirements, and secondly, the entry for user access relates to the entire class. However, when we look at attribute definitions, you will see that there is a similar entry for user access. The entries for the attribute definitions would take priority over definitions for the class. Pause the video so you can assimilate this information before moving on to look at an example. Here's a data definition for the order class taken from our example class model. This includes some made-up sample data to give you an insight into how such a form would be completed. Pause the video again for a few moments to review this information. Continue when you're ready, and we can start looking at defining business rules. To help us understand defining business rules, we'll focus on the order class in this extract from our example class model. You can see that this class has associations with three other classes: the customer class, the order line class, and the salesperson class. The multiplicities or numbers on the association lines provide some detail about the business rules. However, they don't give any information about the meaning or rationale behind the business rules from a business perspective. These are provided in the data definitions. Here you can see a completed form defining the business rules governing the associations of our example order class. One of these forms should be completed for every class, unless it has no associations, which is unlikely. The heading of the form indicates it's for the order class. Then you can see there's a row for each of the three classes associated with it. Each row is used to explain or give the rationale behind the business rules. The rules should be explained using business terms that are easy for all stakeholders to understand and also to verify. Remember, what's in this example may not be suitable for other organizations, as they may have different rules. Pause the video to review this information, and when you're ready, we can continue to look at attribute definitions. Here you can see a typical form used to specify more detail on the attributes of a class. You would complete one of these forms for each attribute in the class. They may also be referred to as field definitions. Pause the video to review the information before moving on to look at an example. Here you can see the attribute definitions for the order ID attribute of the order class from our example class model. Pause the video again to review the information before moving on to discuss domain attributes. Be aware that some attributes may be classed as domain attributes. The definitions for domain attributes are defined at an organizational level and apply across the organization to similar attributes in all classes. A common example of domain attributes are attributes that record dates, such as the date an order was placed, the date an order was delivered, or the date an order was paid for. Many organizations have a policy for how dates should be recorded in all of their classes. Now we've looked at domain attributes, we've completed part 5 and with it the entire course. Let's summarize what we've covered. In part 5, the final part of the course, we looked at data definitions. These are used to provide the more detailed information required to develop and test the system needed to deliver the requirements represented in the class model. We have seen how to provide data definition for the classes, the business rules, and the attributes specified in the class model. Bear in mind it's important to spend some time with all stakeholders to verify this information is correct before committing to development. If you found this video useful and of benefit, it'd be great if you would please like and share it, and also subscribe to our channel. By doing this, you'll be helping us develop the channel further and continue to produce and share more videos to benefit the business analysis community. This also brings us to the end of the Data Analysis Using Class Models course. and we hope you found it enjoyable and informative, allowing you to develop and read class models on your projects. If you found this course useful, you may want to view one of our others. Please refer to our website to see what's available and what we're planning to produce. If there's a particular topic that you'd like us to cover, please let us know on the website contact form. Finally, we'd like to thank you for taking our course and wish you good luck in your future endeavours and your career as a business analyst. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you again on another course.